Yo, what is going on, Cover One crew? Welcome back to the show. Hope everybody is good. We're diving back into that lab, discussing some rookies, and we're talking Michael Penix Jr. Scouting report for this NFL draft in 2024, Washington Huskies product. And there's a lot of good things to like about a Michael Penix. I do like his game a lot. His name is starting to fly up some draft boards, saying some teams are enamored with his ability and do believe he could be a franchise passer for them. I do like his game. Is he on the top end where we see Caleb Williams, Drake May, even a Jaden Daniels? We'll see. I got pros, cons, grade score, so follow me. Let's talk a little Michael Penix, quarterback, Washington Huskies. Well, the knocks on Penix game, we all understand. There are some injury history troubles and the fact that, we can talk about the cons early, but I usually like talking about, what these players do well to start because, he's got a lot of talent. I was, relatively impressed this past season, more so than I thought I would be as they took him to the national championship. So, the team around him was very good as well. Had a boatload of playmakers to, decipher and, dissect and throw the ball to, I should say. But, it is a good offense in Washington, and I think Michael Penix is still very good in that respect. Let's talk about those measurables. As per always, stands 6'3", 218. He is 23 years of age, a little bit on the older side, man. Played in 49 contests, 63.3 on the completion percentage, 13,741 yards. Very good in that respect. 8.2 on the average, 96 touchdowns to 34 interceptions. So there is a little bit of a higher TD to interception ratio than some of his other counterparts. But Michael Penix this past year definitely showcased what he is good at and what he's capable of. And let's talk about those pros right off the bat, man. Good size and frame, 6'3", 218. It's nothing to sneeze at, man. He is put together. He can take punishment. We saw what he was able to endure in the national championship with those Michigan Wolverines. They came after him with a bum rush, and at least, he was bruised and battered as that game did wear on, but at least the size and frame, he was able to at least stand in that pocket and still take that punishment. He does got a strong arm. It is a live arm. Definitely leads his wide receivers. We saw that with Roma Dunzier, Polk, McMillan. This guy was feeding his wide receivers on the regular. Majority of the time, they were not slowed up and waiting for the passes. He was able to lead his wide receivers, which is a big positive. That goes into timing. He's very good in that respect as well. Quick release, snap off the wrist. You love to see it. I do like it quite a bit, man. The pass velocity comes with that as well. Very impressive. Puts balls on ropes, and he's able to get it down the field to his wide receivers with a great pass. And we saw his highlight reel alone. Even if you just break down that and you see what he did extremely well, you're very impressed with how he can get the ball down the field, especially with that quick release and the pass velocity. Sweet ball placement. Let's talk dimes, breadbasket, back shoulder, timing. When you're breaking down everything Roma Dunzier was able to do, when you see what McMillan was able to do, he's able to make most of these throws over the middle to the back shoulder, the back pylon, the slant routes, the hooks. He was able to make all of the throws, the deep passes down the field, putting some touch on the ball, even very good in that respect. Tight window, deep is absolutely fantastic, man. And we've seen it how many times in the end zone, even when they're just outside the red zone, he's able to pinpoint it to the corner of the end zone where only his wide receiver can manage to get the football. So I do like that about his game, hence why a lot of people are suggesting that Penix can be a true franchise passer, man. Pump fake is dirty, and he looks off the safety extremely strong, and you do see it quite a bit. He's able to at least, move the safeties with his eyes and then get it down the field. The pump fake is very nasty, man, and it's probably one of the better ones I've seen, especially coming from a lefty quarterback. He's able to at least, dictate where the defense should go with his eyes, pump fake, and then gets his wide receivers open down the field as well. Very good skill set for a Michael Penix. Footwork is good. It's bouncy. Is it great? I'm going to say probably not, because there is improvements that can be had, but it is good. It's good enough for me to say that it's a pro. He's not usually flat-footed. Sometimes we see him throw off the back foot, but he is bouncy. He is trying to navigate the pocket. He doesn't take off and run as we used to see as much anymore when he did in the past before his injuries to his knees. But I mean, in the footwork, he's able to at least go up and down the pocket side to side and at least navigate. We did see the issues in the national championship, like I'm saying, reverse the pressure, but it's not a huge concern for me. I think the footwork is definitely there and good. Pocket awareness also good, like I'm saying, moving up, moving down, stepping up, stepping back, and then side to side, and he is able to at least take off when needed if he has to still, and he did prove that at his 4-day, he can 40 or his pro day, his 40 was still decently good enough for him to run. He ran a very good 40 at his pro day, so I mean it is good. Strong snap cadence, man. He draws a lot of flags with that cadence, and again, underrated skill set that you got to say. He can work out a lot of these inadequacies with some very solid coaching, but he is very good in a lot of these respects. But we got to talk about some cons because he does have some lengthy ones as well, hence why there are some people jumping off the board, off the train for a Michael Penix Jr. Injury history, I mean, ACL 2018, 2020, AC joint after that. I mean, this is a problem. His body did break down, took a lot of punishment, and his knees are made of glass. People should be afraid of him, especially at the fact that he's 23 years of age, already gone through several knee injuries, a shoulder, AC joint injury, so it's not good. The injury history is vast, but he did show the fact that he can stay healthy these past 2 years, so it is hopefully that he is going to be over the, issue of being hurt often and labeled as injury prone. He can't get rattled under pressure. We've seen this, man. It's all over the tape. When the pressure's coming, when the bum rush is coming, his throws will go off errant targets, and then it is a problem. We will see how he's able to navigate this. I mean, national championship was a poor showing due to that pressure as well. We saw how many missed passes. We saw interceptions, poor throws, got in his own head. He saw the rush, was seeing ghosts. It was not a good showing for him at the Natty. So, I mean, these are the types of things. Recency bias is massive for a lot of people. This isn't the staple of what a Penix is, but we definitely have to understand that he can't get rattled with pressure. Is it all the time? No. And I do believe that, with a little bit understanding, more coaching, he is going to be able to see and where he should put that ball, especially on hot reads when the pressure is coming. Lefty arm bias, we know that it is there. Some do not like lefty quarterbacks. And I mean, outside of the Michael Vick arm, who is probably the biggest arm that we've seen from a lefty, Michael Penix does have a good arm for being this lefty quarterback, and I'm not, putting it down there whatsoever. Just a statement, not a con for me, as I know some are lefty biased and do not like their quarterback throwing lefty. The throw motion has inconsistency at times where he does the slower round off, and we've seen it. It's not necessarily, a massive concern because it's mechanical, and it can be fixed with some heavy coaching when he sees what, on film with his coaches, and they can round it out. But there is times where you do see the slower throwing motion, which will inhibit his accuracy and his touch on the ball. So we will see, excuse me, if he's able to fix that in the pros. I'm not overly concerned. It is there, definitely noticeable at times, but more often than not, he is zipping that football into his wide receivers. Over the middle, mid-range needs improvement. It's not the best, but he definitely has hit his wide receivers like a McMillan over the middle. I'm so good with it, and McMillan is a baller too, man. Get used to that name as well. I'm a big fan, but I mean, it needs just, the top-end talent when you're talking about being a top-5 quarterback in this NFL draft. You got to hit those big boy throws over the linebackers, in between the safeties. Those are the throws that get you the money in the NFL, man. Mobility did lose a little bit of juice just to that knee injury, but he did show the fact that he's able to at least run that straight 40 at his pro day. So, I mean, we can, take this with a grain of salt, man. Is he choosing not to run as much? Perhaps he wants to protect himself, and I think that's maturity in his game, but mobility definitely did lose some juice as he was better and more, willing to run, but I think that, he still can take off and run. I just think he's not as quick as he used to be, especially on film when it comes to in-game versus faster defenders. That's no kidding, man. He can throw off his back foot at times, basically taking out the timing routes. We'll see. I mean, he's trying very hard to do that. And I mean, in the NFL, you could have those intercepted quite a bit and you could take some sacks. So we will see. Again, footwork, mechanical issues, I think can be worked out. We've seen lots of guys throwing off their back foot, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and they make it work. So it's not necessarily one of these dreadful cons. He's not, mechanically unsound. I do like what Michael Penix does bring to the field, but I mean, he can throw off his back foot at times, does inhibit his play, does inhibit the passes at times, but it's not not overly concerning. Did he benefit from the elite wide receiver core of a Rome Odunze, McMillan, and a Polk? We'll see, okay? And that's a big one, where how many times I say, does a young quarterback uplift his wide receiver core, or does a wide receiver core uplift the quarterback? That is the big question mark you do have when you discuss somebody like a Michael Penix. I do believe that this core was benefited from both. Penix benefited them, they benefited Penix. So we'll see how it does go in the NFL. If he doesn't have necessarily a sound wide receiver core, will he be able to feed them on the regular? We will see. There is issues in progressive reading the field as well. So, these wide receivers definitely put themselves in a place where they can get the ball and Penix can feed them the football. Last minute, deactive from the Senior Bowl was an interesting move. I didn't like that. It was his choice. He chose not to play and suit up in the game. And he did not look good at the Senior Bowl practices, so maybe that was part of it as well to kind of save his draft stock at that point. I didn't necessarily like it. I wish he would have been out there playing, throwing the football in that game, even though the game doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's just one of those things. You chose not to play in it. There is an issue and reason why, especially if you wanted to only work out at your pro day. I completely understand. But for grading purposes, I'm a Michael Penix fan. I think he's a good quality quarterback. Will he be that franchise passer that someone's looking for? I think there is, question marks to it, but I do believe there's enough to suggest that he could be 77% even on my grade score. He did lose some traction on some of the mechanical issues, maybe some of the mobility issues, but he still is very good, man. 77% is definitely nothing to sneeze at in that outstanding ability, potential where he could be successful in the NFL. I do like Michael Penix, and he's definitely nothing to sneeze at in this quarterback class that is looking to be quite loaded. So there you have it. That is Michael Penix Jr. I do like his game. I am a fan, like I'm saying. The cons, they could be good enough where a lot of people are skittish on it and saying, I'm out. I don't want anything to do with Michael Penix with those glass knees. I'm a little bit more supportive. I think that there is potential in this man. I think that he is good. Will he be a great quarterback? I think that's kind of the question mark. Is he a serviceable guy that can actually, lead a team? There is great potential. Could he benefit from sitting for a year, learning, and then going to the Wolves? I think that might be the best case for a Michael Penix because he is definitely has the talent to be a good quality quarterback in the NFL. Does he have the talent to be a great one? We definitely will see. But nevertheless, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts. What are y'all thinking about Penix? How does he round out to the rest of the quarterbacks in this class? Drop it in the comments. We can definitely talk it out, but we'll see you next time. I am out.